All right, man, peace. So in the aftermath of Kevin Durant's decision to depart from the Golden State Warriors, and some of the early statements that he's made about his experience on that squad, I do believe that Steve Kerr is showing a great deal of prudence in just agreeing with many of the statements that Kevin Durant is making to try to put out that fire for the upcoming season. He already knows what the media is going to be fishing for throughout this season, some level of back and forth that might be able to take each team away from what they should be focused on, that being winning. So he's going to do what people do when they're mature-minded and they see the big picture. They're going to agree with what their wannabe adversary is saying to try to nullify it. And it makes sense because what Kevin Durant stated about the offense on the Golden State Warriors not being as efficient or proficient in the playoffs was true. But the fact of the matter is that that's always the case, especially in high leverage moments. When you get to the conference final round or the finals, normally you're playing one of the top 4 best teams in the league. That means they have a chance to scout you offensively, defensively. They know what you like to run. So one would assume that your offense is not going to flow as smoothly. Therefore, what you're saying is not groundbreaking when you assess that the system is not going to work as well. Talent is always what's needed to get over the top in those pivotal situations. I don't care how great your skill set is. In those championship moments, you're always going to need players who can make a play. The 49ers in the 1980s, they were known for the West Coast offense. But when the going got tough, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, John Taylor, Roger Craig, those guys had to make plays. In the 1990s, the Chicago Bulls ran a triangle, as Steve Kerr is saying right here. But they needed Michael Jordan to make plays, break the offense, go one-on-one, one-on-two, sometimes one-on-5, in order to get the job done. So anyway, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
Your old teammate, Steve Kerr, responding. So Kevin Durant recently said that Steve Kerr's motion offense, quote, only works to a certain point. In an interview with The Athletic, Kerr said, hey, I didn't take any offense to that. He said he's actually right in a way. He said, quote, I played the triangle with Michael Jordan. The offense ran a lot smoother all regular season and the first couple rounds of the playoffs than it did in the conference finals and finals. It just did.
In other words, Steve Kerr is saying in a very nice way, no shit, Sherlock.
Buddy, you too played the triangle with Michael Jordan. Do you agree with your old teammate Steve there?
Once again, it's going to be very interesting. And of course, I'm going to let Scotty speak, but it's going to be very interesting to see how well Kevin Durant fares with his bosom buddy Kyrie Irving, the same person who said last season that he's a quote-unquote basketball genius. I wonder how much each one of these players are going to be worshiping their own basketball IQ when they're constantly trying to go one-on-one with some of the best defensive teams in the league, especially as they try to advance in the playoffs, and what they do is found to be more and more predictable. It's a very simple mathematical equation. You have to try to amalgamate the system that you run with the individual talent on the team, and what high basketball IQ players do is they live with their results. They understand that there has to be a happy medium there.
I agree. There's no question that Kevin Durant is right in the category with Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan in terms of scoring the basketball.
Absolutely, Scotty, and thank you for saying that. As I've always stated, Kevin Durant, in my view, is the most proficient scorer in the last 30 years other than Michael Jordan, and he's definitely in the category of greatest scorers of the modern era with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. The only difference between Kobe Bryant and the Kevin Durant, Michael Jordan level of scorer is that Kobe Bryant was far less efficient and far less proficient than those other two guys. Kevin Durant, Michael Jordan, they understand how to get their points within the offense with a far higher degree of certainty than Kobe Bryant, who tended to take very bad shots outside of the floor of the offense.
To scoring the basketball. Those guys only need the basketball in their hands. Mm-hmm. They don't need any motion or anything to that nature. So I agree. I mean, KD is a player that can create his own shot at any time.
Yeah, I mean, look, I also don't think it's a surprise. Things get harder in the later rounds of the playoffs. They put more stress on.
Thank you, Rachel Nichols. I completely agree. But anyway, that's basically it on that. Peace.